And we are live. Welcome to the Ron Payne podcast show. I'm your host, Ron Payne. Tonight's special guest is Anthony Price. He's from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Known him my entire life, actually. But he is actually one of the few people that I've learned a lot about this business from. Started out in New Jersey. I left there about 11 years ago. Well, about 10 years ago I left there. And now we are here 10 years later, and I'm actually interviewing him because he is a real big inspiration of mine. He's also a very close personal friend of mine. So we are going to see how he's doing, and we are actually gonna see, and we are going to talk to him. And 10 years ago left there, and now do a nice little interview with him and see where he's from. You know, this way you guys have a basic idea. For you guys that are watching live, you guys can go right on to Facebook, and if you guys would like, you guys can chat there. If you guys can't get the feed, I do apologize. Give it a couple minutes. Just stay on there, and then it should pop up. If it doesn't pop up, at least still listen. And if you guys want to talk, you guys can message me on Facebook, and you guys could also go from there. That's Ron Payne on Facebook. And pretty soon we're going to a lot of new stuff going on with the Ron Payne podcast. We're going to try to bring some more stuff into it. We're going to I'm going to be having a website. Hopefully kicking that off sometime in the week. If not, by the end of the week. Hopefully a little bit of a better set. You know, even behind me, it actually does say Payne in the back. And, you know, you even got the little anarchy sign going there for those that can't see. You know, just kind of fits me a little bit, just to be able to just have fun with a spray can. I know those of you guys are watching. I'm happy you guys are able to join us. For those that aren't, enjoy WWE Tough Enough. And if you guys are Diva fans, watch Divas, I guess. But WWE Tough Enough, you know, a lot of people consider to be a lot of fun. But the problem is that it became a popularity contest. It became fake almost. And there's a lot more guys out there that have been in this business for a long time that would have loved to do something like that just to get that opportunity to, or exposure, whatever you want to call it, especially in the independent business of things. So hopefully they take another look at stuff like that. But what we are going to do right now, we're going to try to get Anthony Price on the line, and we're going to see how he is, and we're going to talk to him a little bit and see if we can get him on the line. I have a feeling we're going to get a voicemail, but we're going to go ahead and see.
Hello?
Tony.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Ron, brother.
What's going on?
You are live. Can you actually see me on YouTube?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, awesome. All right, that works. It's funny. The only people that could actually see me online is the people that I'm on the phone with for some weird reason. That's okay. So how was your week, brother? Sorry, how was your week?
The week was exciting.
Awesome. For those of you just joining in, we are on live with Anthony Price. Like I was reiterating before, close personal friend of mine. We started out together actually, and hopefully for you guys that are looking to get into the business or already into the business, hopefully you get some more insight, even more than what we've had in the past couple shows. You get to get a little bit more personal with myself, with Tony online as well. So we're gonna get this shindig started. So Tony, man, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see. Started in the wrestling business about 15 years ago, going on 15 years, I should say. And it was one of those things that, it was I hate to coin that phrase, but it was a boyhood dream. I'm sure like it was for yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Never did I expect it to I think when you grow up, you see it on TV and you think, oh wow, this would be so cool. But you don't realize how much work goes into it, and how much you have to dedicate yourself to it. That's pretty much me. I have a wife and a kid, and I live and breathe the wrestling business. So this is your show, man. So fire away with your questions.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of them. I just wanted to give people a little bit of insight, just to let people know that hey, even though we've been doing what we've been doing, we also have side lives like anybody else should.
Yeah, you know me. One persona is the wrestling side, and there is of course Anthony Price, but the wrestling business only knows me as Cletus. But hopefully soon they'll tell me or something else.
Very true.
That will be a whole other story of another podcast.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. For the people watching at home or wherever they may be, how did you first get into the business? Like, for instance, like who were some of your inspirations? Even when you got in, who, for instance, who were you trained by? Anybody that people may know, might not know. Anybody that's in New Jersey that's ever seen any of the shows or whatever the case may be.
It was pretty interesting how my tag team partner, Anthony O'Neill, aka Scooter, and I got our start. It was kind of by chance. It was becoming a pro wrestler was something that we always wanted from the time we were, at least from the time I was able to, knew who Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage were, Roddy Piper, all of those guys growing up with. When you saw those guys on TV, that's what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And when I was about 17, I started looking for professional wrestlers, and I came across Larry Sharp's Monster Factory. And at 17 years old, $3,500 is a lot to come up with.
Oh yeah.
So I went to work and I tried to save up as much money as I could. Around the age of 19, I got an opportunity to meet with Ron Post, the owner and operator of the EWA.
Which is Empire Wrestling Alliance.
Yep, the Empire Wrestling Alliance that was based out of Bricktown, New Jersey. And they had given us an opportunity to come in and partake in a battle royal, which was at Rover Farm in Jackson, New Jersey. And it was kind of funny because Cooter lost his pants in the battle royal, getting shoulder blocked to the corner by James the to their school. And we were trained by Ron Post, Jason the Green Dragon Pharaoh, and Matt Storm. His real name is Matthew Bailey, and which is kind of fun because Matthew Bailey was also a longtime high school friend of my uncle, who I never knew, was that close to, I could have been that close to my dream a lot sooner. So we got invited to train down in the Dragon's Den in Tuckerton, and or in West Creek, and I'll tell you, it was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. We were we didn't train in a ring. We trained on a concrete floor with judo mats. That was how we started. You learned your bumps and your techniques, all your fundamentals right there on a judo mat.
Oh yeah, I've been on those judo mats before with you, man, and I'd say that was some of the hardest bumping I've ever taken in my life, and it scared the hell out of me.
You know what? It was pretty scary, and the thing was, like, you don't appreciate it then as much as you do later on when you're in the ring and you're taking your bumps during a show.
Yep.
Back then, when we first went in there, I think it was nothing but pain. That's all you felt. And the Green Dragon, who was also a MMA fighter as well, would stretch us 2 days from Sunday, and constantly, it was a constant battle every day, 4 days, 5 days a week, and you had to be dedicated. And, there were a lot of guys that came through that school that left, but if you stayed and you finished it out and you got the nod to go and work the show, you earned it. There was no doubt about it. You did your dues, and you were able to go out there and do something that you love to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you had to figure out in your head, like, give me an estimate, as most people have noticed, as I've been posting about the podcast show with you being on there, how many titles, like tag team titles, do you think you and Anthony O'Neill has won?
We are about 10-time tag team champions.
Give or take, yeah, figures.
But to us, it was never about the title.
Yeah.
It was, the titles for us was always like that thank you for putting the work in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was always the cool thing. And, Cooter will always tell you that we didn't like being champs. We always liked hunting for it. We liked to, we liked all the work that it took to get your hands raised with the title.
Yeah, you were pretty much like me. Once you have it, you go, okay, now what?
We were like, can we get rid of this now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember one time we were, back in the TWA, and we're carrying the tag team banner, and we had gone on a run for maybe about 7 months as tag champs, and at the time we were feuding with the Deadpool, and
That was the 13th and Resident, correct?
that is correct. And we had some crazy matches. I mean, things that were, I think I aged myself about 15 years during those matches, but there came a point where Ron Post started to get more tag team into the EWA, and we kept asking, hey, can we do this to these guys? We were like, come on, let's just do this, let's build these guys up and let us, have our fun. That's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We wanted to elevate other guys. guys after a certain point because that's what it's about. You know, that's how you build your division. You know, tag team wrestling is so over when it's done right, and it's underutilized nowadays. And
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
shame. You know, you look at all the great tag teams in the past, and you know, where are they now? Kind of thing. Where's the great tag teams of today?
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. Now, what were some of the other companies that you worked with out in New Jersey? So, like New Jersey, New York, even Pennsylvania. I understand you did a couple shows out in Pennsylvania for a couple of companies.
Um, you know, there's been so many that I couldn't really even tell you.
Oh, I
take
understand.
bookings sometimes. You take bookings sometimes that don't even, you know, really know you're like a one and done, or maybe you do two or three shows for them, and that's it. But the ones that we stayed at the longest, or the ones that we did a long run with, were of course the UWA, the WWC, which was run by Tom Rusby. And,
Yeah.
he also ran in New Jersey, but he also ran in Pennsylvania, out in like the Scranton area.
Yeah.
Also NWS out here in New Jersey. Well, surprisingly, there's a lot of promotions that share the same initials. No matter what state you go.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
But Cougar and I always like to find a home. You know, that was always the thing that we were always looking for. We always wanted to find a place where we could, mainstay, be on the roster long term, and help be a part of that product and that show. That's what we want. What we love to do. We would take bookings anywhere we could get them, but those were the three companies that we stayed with the longest.
Fair enough. Now, when it comes to you and Anthony O'Neill, or otherwise known as Cooter, now, how did you actually end up coming up with, for those that don't know, the name of their tag team was the Good Old Boys. Now, just out of curiosity, even though, North and South don't really make a difference, how did you guys end up actually coming up with the Good Old Boy name? Because you guys had a third member, and, well, it's no surprise who that third member was.
Well, we actually got the name the Good Old Boys as punishment, believe it or not.
Wow.
We were given a homework assignment when we were training, and neither one of us did it. So, we were supposed to come up with a gimmick, and because that was part of the assignment. Come up with a gimmick, and we'll talk about it, at the next class, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And we had wrapped our brains. We couldn't think about what we wanted to do. We came up with TNT, Tony and Tokyo, and all this stuff, and but we couldn't agree on anything. So
Yeah, I understand.
Post, as punishment, said, I'm going to make you guys my resident hillbillies, and he called us the Good Old Boys, and Anthony O'Neill kind of did, like a typical Anthony O'Neill blunder, and
Okay.
he called him Cooter, and from that point on,
So you make something out of this.
The only redneck name I could think of was from the Simpsons character, Cletus. So I was like, all right, well, if he's going to be Cooter, I'll be Cletus, and the rest was kind of history at that point.
Yeah, I definitely understand
The
that.
bad thing is neither one of us liked country music at the time, so it was real hard trying to
Oh yeah, I could definitely understand that. Now, I I understand that you guys actually, for a short period of time, you guys actually changed gimmicks. To all you independent wrestlers out there, there's going to be a time, a place where you're going to have to switch it up sooner or later. but for a short period of time, you guys switched up to a mafia gimmick. Tell me a little bit about that.
At the time when we did it, we were we had left EWA for a while. The EWA had taken a hiatus from running shows, and we needed some much needed time off. We had wrestled a couple other places just here and there, and I was nursing a bad neck injury, and Cooter was kind of nursing a few of the injuries that he had sustained over the 5 years that we've been in the business at the time. And when we got the phone call from Ron Post that okay, we're gonna run each guy's back, I was very limited as to what I could do in the ring. And Tony, our coder was a little limited as well, not nearly as much as I was. And we just couldn't be the good old boys that we wanted to be. We were used to having, these off the wall, hardcore, matches, and not even hardcore, it's just, the kind of bumps that we would take, the things that we would do, was always, just balls to the wall. And at that point, our bodies just couldn't handle it without, sustaining even more, severe injuries or hurting ourselves further. So we came up with the idea of doing a mock kick because at that point we could pay somebody off to, step in the ring with this guy, or, we could cheat to win. And, it was short-lived, but, it was a great experience because when we debuted that gimmick, it was at the good old boys' home. We were in Rover Farms, a place that we've been wrestling for 5 years, and the fans were literally like, I remember there was 2 kids in the audience that were crying, hysterical, and our manager at the time, Little Andy, was like, shut these kids up, and the parents started to yell, and it was pretty, it was a great experience.
That's the fun times, though.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, but I think when you find something that works for you, you never deviate from it. Which is why we, eventually went back to the good old boys, which was always kind of our plan. We only needed to do something in term. While we were pulling up and licking our wounds, so to speak.
Now, after all that and everything else like that, do you have any, favorite matches that you ever had? Like, if you had to pick one match that was probably your favorite, which one would it be?
If I had to pick one,
yeah,
I would say that it was, if I had to just pick one, the one that stands out in my mind was the EWA was doing they're kind of mixing things up a little bit, and they put me and Cooter in a match against each other. And the only reason why this match would probably stand out in my mind and be one of my favorites is because it was the first time that we got to showcase what him and I could do as single wrestlers.
Where the focus was on you guys.
Right, where it wasn't so much like as a team. We got to literally showcase that we're not just tag wrestlers, but we can mix the shit up in one-on-one competition as well. And
yeah, absolutely.
Because, that stands out. But then there was also the time where Ron Montgomery and I defended the EWA title and in a hardcore match. So, there's a lot of things that stand out. Any and all the matches that the good old boys have had, that's cool. Will always go down as some of my favorites. Brett not being here anymore is,
up in heaven.
Those matches close to my heart. So.
Absolutely. For those that don't know, and for those that do, I've been in this business for a long time. So anybody I've ever met in my professional career, whatever the case may be, you always want to know a background of whoever they're going to be in the ring with, what they've done, and whatever the case may be. When Tony here talks about Moron, you're looking at Moron Montgomery. That was one of my second gimmicks. Correct? My first gimmick was a joke, which was called the Jackal, but my first big break was Moron Montgomery, and it was all because of Tony here, Tony and Anthony O'Neill as well, and Ron Post with the Empire Wrestling Alliance, which is where I also made my start. So when he talks about everything that goes from being on the the hard mats, back at the Jason Farrow dojo, everything, I've experienced it just as much as he has. I've messed up just like he has, and anybody else in the independent circuit has. Especially, there's a lot that goes into it. So, to all you indie guys or fans, whatever case may be, you guys at least know this is the reason why I do my podcast. Like I tell everybody, I do this podcast this way you guys get an inside look at what we have to go through as independent wrestlers compared to what they go through in the higher ups. What we had to go through to train, whatever the case would be. These guys also did the same thing, but in some cases, a lot of them that have their own stories always. So just so everybody knows, this is why I'm so close to him as it is, because we've both been there. We've been there at the same time. My first time ever holding a championship, let alone a tag team champion, was with Tony Price with the Empire Wrestling Alliance as a good old boy. So that was probably one of my proudest moments, among others. But being able to hold the title with him, especially him being, without a shadow of a doubt, my best friend, was most important to me as well. So Tony, while I have you on the phone, thank you for that. I do appreciate you every day of the week, man.
Same here, brother. Same here.
Now, here's a good one that I've been asking everybody that's been on my show. If you had one last match, and what I mean by that, retirement came and everything else, and you had that one chance to take on that one person that you want to take on, regardless what it may have been, independent, WWE, whatever kind of wrestler that you could think of in your mind, if you had that one last match, who would it be and why? If it's, numerous of people, then that's fine too, If it's like a fatal four-way where you had to choose, whatever the case may be, I can understand that.
Yeah, that's a difficult question for me, only because everybody that and you know this from experience, everybody that you get into the ring with kind of brings something different out of you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's style might be different, or what they bring to the table is different. So, you may have to step up in one area that you normally don't. I think in my last match ever, it would have to go out the way it came in. My first match ever was against, of course, my tag team partner. And that would be the way I'd want to go out. One last time. Just him and I, toe to toe, boom, boom. There was, as you know, because you were there in the training, when we were training.
Yeah.
It was always him and I paired up against each other all the time. If not, it was Resin. Resin and I paired up. So they, when you know someone as well as that, what happens is the ring out in front of a crowd is just magical. And I think if you go out, or if you're going to go out, the last time, it's got to be the most magical night of your life.
Yeah.
And, you got to be in there with somebody that's going to push you. But then again, if I'm going fantasy, you know, if I could get Bret Hart at this prime, that would be the one that I would want to go with. You know, because who was better than Bret Hart?
Very true. That's a fair answer there. I know I asked that question to a lot of people, and I'm going to answer it myself as well because I don't think I ever literally ever had that question asked to me actually, and I think it's only fair enough to give my answer while everybody else gives theirs. Me personally, if I had my last match, it would probably include maybe I'd say 3 people, and the reason why I say 3 people is because one, those are the people that hold dear to me, that I consider family, if not family. And one out of the 3 I have faced, which was the first one was definitely Marty Reed, who was my guest last night on the show. And honestly, it would have to be Anthony O'Neill, Cooter, and Tony Price, Cletus, because for as long as I,
Could you lose the chair shot?
I'm not going to go there. Just so everybody knows, I'm going to get to that little comment here in a second, and I'll explain why he said that comment. But the reason why I chose those 3 is because, one, I've been in the room with Marty. I know what he's capable of. I've learned a lot from Marty just as much as he's learned a lot from me. And like I told him before, I'll say it again, he's a brother from another mother, and I love him to death. But when it comes to Anthony O'Neill and Anthony Price, I've known them for so long. I remember being out in front of the house, wrestling, suffering broken ankles, jumping out of trees. Heck, I think there was one time where cops actually pulled up and they thought that we were beating the hell out of each other. But not once have we ever been able to display what we've learned in the ring. Tony and Anthony O'Neill have. I haven't had that chance to actually been in that ring one-on-one, especially from the time I was with them to where I'm at in my career now. I like to say that I have achieved a lot in my career, but watching it and being in the ring with somebody is something totally different. And I want to show the 2 people that helped me get into business and train me, along with Ron Post and them. I want them to know, look, this is where you guys got me, and this is where I got myself because of you. And that's kind of like a respect match, I guess you can say. So now to reiterate on the comment that Anthony Price made about the chair shot, back when it was in my Moron days, I think it was maybe the 3rd show, I think it was, correct? Something like that? The 3rd show I ever, 4th show, but 3rd show as Moron. I actually took my first steel chair shot. But the way it happened, I did not like. And it took me a little while to remember it because that's how hard of a chair shot it was. And it didn't help that my own tag team partners that I was managing at the time held my arms while I took my first chair shot from the owner of the company. And yes, it was. Of course, you took it in the head, and Doughboy, or Cooter, took it into the back. So I mean, it is what it is. But it's all right. He'll get his too. Now I want to jump gears here for a minute, and we've been talking a long time about this. FOW, Foundation of Wrestling. Since we had that idea and everything else, why don't you tell the people watching, or whatever the case may be, whether they're watching or going to view it later, Why don't you tell them a little bit about FOW and what our goal is to try to do?
FOW is a brainchild of the good old boys here. All the trips on the road, working for this promotion, that promotion, and kind of seeing, you see the good and the bad everywhere you go. And FOW is hopefully going to be all the good that we've learned throughout our wrestling career.
Yeah.
I think in this day and age of wrestling, the up and coming guys, a lot of them, ones that I meet, they're so focused on the wrestling aspect of what we do, and not so much the entertainment side. Like there's like a gap that they don't, maybe that they don't understand or that they don't see.
Yeah.
But it is, there's two things that we do. We use our bodies to tell a story, but we also have to use our minds and our looks to tell the story as well. But we are entertainers. Not only are we wrestlers, but we are entertainers. We got to go out there and put on a show. And the show doesn't just start and end with the wrestlers. It starts with every aspect.
Yeah.
How many times have you guys gone, the fans that maybe watching or listening, think about when you go to an independent wrestling show, how many times have you been to one where it's just a ring of kids, silver apron, all the lights are on, and there's no product, there's nothing, it's just the wrestling, so to speak, which is fine, because as a fan, I'm entertained by what I see in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
The presentation, but FOW is going to embody all the great things about the business. It's not going to be glitz and glam, but it is going to be a well-designed product. There's going to be a little glitz and glam, but nothing crazy. But the focus is going to be on the fundamentals of everything that we were taught, and what we've learned throughout our times in the business. I'm 35 years old. I don't know how much more time I'm going to have as an active competitor.
Yeah.
That's realistic. And I've always wanted life after wrestling to still be involved in the business, and that's what FOW is doing. It's going to take some time to get off the ground because there's a lot of components that need to be in the right place. But once they fall into the right place, we're going to take off and we're going to take over. We're not going to try to be the WWE. We're not going to try to be Ring of Honor. We're not going to try to be TNA or any of those. We're going to have our own brand and we're going to be our own entity. And that's just what it's going to be. But we're going to get back to basics. We're going to get back to that what made wrestling so special. I'm so tired of watching what the current product is everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember a day when somebody put a figure four on, and if the guy got to the ropes or was able to, their manager was able to distract the ref, even though he would, the move would be broken, he would get up and he would hold his leg.
Yeah.
He would be able to walk the whole match, or he would, you don't see that anymore. A power bomb, you'll see three times in a match, and guys are getting up from it.
And not one can keep a man down, or I remember when a dangerous move was a DDT, and now they're used every single time in a match.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if I get up from a power bomb and go go and give you a power bomb myself, and you get up, and then there's a third power bomb like move somewhere in an exchange. What do you have to do to beat this guy? Take out a gun and shoot him?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the the way I was taught anyway was that we're like magicians.
Yep.
We're not going to tell you how the trick is done.
Yeah.
But we're going to make it look and package it nice. We all know that David Copperfield didn't make the Statue of Liberty disappear. He just made it look like it disappeared.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the first time you see it, or every time you see it, even to this day, you're still amazed.
Yep.
Why?
I remember my first power bomb, and you were actually there. It was in the battle royal, because I think right before I took the power bomb, it was a sit down power bomb. Right before I took that, I in the middle of a battle royal, I actually eliminated you guys.
Yeah, you did.
I had thought I really completely forgot about who I was actually in the ring with. I can't remember the guy's name though, for the life of me. Muhammad something, or Mahad something like that.
The Atomic Dog.
The Atomic Dog, and gave me my first ever power bomb. And for those watching and understand, when you're in the back and people say, hey, we're gonna do something simple, don't ever go off of that, because that was not simple. I didn't even want to get up, even though it, to us, something like that should keep me down. Well, it kept me down. I didn't want to get back up. That was a scary moment in my life, because I didn't know what in the world was going on. But go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, but the thing is, like, I just watch a lot of this stuff, and I see it go on in indie shows, and you see it even on the WWE. You see it a lot in TNA and a lot in Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate, all of these things where, the wrestling looks fake. It doesn't look like it did. And I'm not even going to say the Attitude Era. I'll go a little bit before that, where, it was, when a guy got locked in a submission holder, that he was getting punched.
Yeah.
They sold it. They did what they needed to do to get the crowd to believe that this was what was going on. There's not enough selling these days. And everything planned.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Where's the organic spontaneity? And that's what FOW is going to try to bring back, because really, it's kind of a sad. It's sad to watch a lot of wrestling sometimes, just because it's like, wow, you can almost call the things that are happening. I can be JR watching certain shows because I know everything that's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you see the setup. You know that something like this is going to happen. You know that this is going to happen. It's like, you just see it. And it's like, the casual wrestling fan may not understand and catch on, but the guys that watch this stuff all the time, the ones that are watching Champions Wrestling, the ones that are going to every show, and they catch on to this stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll hear that, and if you're out of show as a worker, and you're in the back, or maybe you're not working that show, you're in the crowd, you'll hear these fans saying this.
Yeah.
They're saying, they're chanting like, Plancha, or they're calling this stuff out before the guy, while the guy is setting up for it. Like, Jesus. My advice to anybody coming up into the business is make your shit look tight. Make it look, you're throwing a punch, throw a punch. Don't let risk it. Make it look good. And try not to leg a million times, because everybody notices that one leg is better than the other. Or smack yourself on the chest, because they see that. Make it look tight, crisp, and tight, make it hard. You know, don't pussyfoot it. You know,
Yeah.
it just to me it takes away from what we do. You know, and if you're on a card, the one thing that I hate is we have a you know the slop drop, the move that
Yep.
Cooter and I do.
Oh yeah.
Now, there was a tag team that was in a match before us on the show, and they happened to be two girls that you know two ladies or whatever, two women that were wrestling as a tag team against another two women, and the funny thing is they're right next to, and you know kind of the same gimmick, and they do the same move, very similar anyway. And they were on the card before us. We were the second to last match before the main event, and they did our finisher before us. And they, you know, so luckily, you know, as you know, that you know we have a different finisher. You know, we have a couple of different things that we do for a finish, but you know, we had to switch it up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know, when you go to a show, if you do a super kick, if that's your you know the way you like to finish your opponent, but you got
Somebody else doing it halfway in the match.
Incredible there, or you got you know somebody that you know uses a super kick, you know, go up and ask them.
Change it up.
You know, be mindful and you know, and watch what product you know you're a part of.
Yeah.
You know the wrestlers that are there, know what's going on.
And if you don't know them, get to know them.
Yeah, I mean, really get to know where you're at all times.
Yeah.
You know, listen to the guys when you're in the back. Make sure you're not going to, you know, steal anybody's heat or you know anything like that by going out there and doing something that you know somebody might do later on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's a couple of fundamental things that you know are always the same. You know, body slams are body slams. There's just things that are always you know everybody's going to do. But it doesn't mean that you know the big key things that you know we all got to do the same.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the worst thing. And also for the guys coming up, you know, pay attention to your you know to your persona. You know, really work it. Make it believable. Make it you know let it be organic. Let it be a part of you. You know when that music hits and you know we come out of that curtain, I don't think you can tell. There's like a switch that happens. You know, like a switch that gets turned on. I'm no longer Anthony. I'm no longer Tony. You know.
Yeah.
I'm Cletus, and they're you know it doesn't stop until the switch gets turned on.
Understandable.
And you'll believe everything that I'm saying when I'm out there. You'll believe that that's who I am.
Yep.
You know, Cooter is like that. Resin was like that. I mean, God, Resin used to scare people.
Oh God, yeah.
He used to scare people all the time. You know, even in his normal way.
I was about to say, even in his normal way, he acts the same exact way. I mean, there's guys that are committed to their characters, and there's a reason why they're committed to their characters.
That's what people really need to, you know, these guys that are coming up. You learn that as you get, you know, further on in your career, but you gotta put emphasis on it right from the jump.
Yeah.
And you know, be different. Don't be, you know, you can't be a true maverick in anything that you do if you don't break rules.
Yeah.
You know, don't be afraid to break the rules. If somebody's telling you you got to do this, well, you know what? You don't necessarily have to do it this way. Find a different way. You know, don't be afraid to break those rules and really be a maverick. The one thing that I see when I go to shows now as just a fan, everybody is dressed the same. Everybody looks the same.
Yeah.
Nobody looks different. Everybody's arms are draped in tattoos or you know, they're wearing the same kind of tights and kick pads. Or you're like, really? Like, how do I differentiate you from anybody else? Like, you know, Joe Schmo versus Joe Bob.
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference.
Nope.
And it's because it's like you know, you watch wrestling from the 70s and 80s, whether it's AWA or NWA or the WWF. Every person that was on that roster that we all grew up watching, you knew who they were.
Yes.
Like Roddy Piper stood out. Superfly Snuggets stood out. Hogan stood out. Andre the Giant stood out. Macho Man Randy Savage, he stood out.
Yeah.
Bret Hart was different. Shawn Michaels was different. All of these guys were different. And even if they, you know, some of their wardrobe looked a little bit of the same, their personalities, everything was different. You can decipher who was the good guy, who was the bad guy. You can, you know, from their entrance music to their, to the way they walked out to the ring and to the way that they carried themselves in the ring, carried themselves in interviews. I don't know if people are really paying attention to that stuff, you know, at Indies. I don't know if they're trying to get better at certain things or not. And, you know, that might have a lot to do with promoters, too, you know, not giving you the time to showcase what you can do or you know, I really don't have an answer for it, but I just know that that's what I see. You know, we were fortunate to come up in the EWA that allowed us to be creative. They allowed us to showcase ourselves. They gave us opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, every chance that they ever had to get the mic, they would. You know, they always wanted to do little interviews with you. You know, we are lucky this generation now to have YouTube. You know,
yep.
where we can film ourselves and cut a promo if we wanted to. Focus on, you know, my advice to people coming up is just focus on your fundamentals, what you've learned in the ring, and put yourself together and package yourself nice, because you are an independent contractor.
Yep.
The only way that you're going to make money in this business or make a good run at it is you got to be different. You got to be something that people are going to want to see. And it's everything.
Yep.
You know, be prepared when you go to a show. Always have merchandise. Always have, you know, a DVD ready for a different promoter that might be in the crowd. You know, just be prepared to sell yourself. And don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
We all take bookings, you know, that we might not want to or reluctant. You know, the payout sucks. But that's how you can get your name out there.
Yeah.
But after a certain point, don't be afraid to kind of, you know, I'm not going to go out there and do this for this. You know?
I understand.
But, you know, sell yourself, you know, and don't be afraid to be mad. Push whatever envelope you want. And, you know, make it count.
Absolutely. I can't agree with you more, Tony. You know, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier to, well, I should say, past couple podcast shows. Whether you're independent, even just a fan, go out, support your local indie shows. Go out, support, because that's the only way that we can show the world what we can do. As indie wrestlers, we go out there, we put it out on the line all day, every day, whether it be 300 people or 30 people. No matter what, we're always out there. We're doing the same exact thing everybody else is. So we try to do the best with whatever time we have. But I want to say thank you to Tony. I appreciate you being on a podcast, man. I really do. Look forward to it for a long time, actually. You still with me?
I'm still with you,
No problem, man. No problem at all. But just like Tony was saying, have your own stuff, man. Simple as that. Be your own person. Um, Focus on what you want to do. Focus on what you want to achieve, because you're not going to be able to achieve anything unless you go out and do it yourself. And if that isn't inspirational for you, especially in this business, I don't know what is, because us as indie guys, independent wrestlers, we're going to tell you exactly what we go through and what we went through to get where we're at. So we're not going to beat around the bush when it comes down to it. So go out, support your indie shows, indie wrestlers, podcasts such as myself, or, the Undisputed Wrestling Show, yourwrestlingshow.com, all those podcasts, whether it be, whatever, go out and support them. That's a big thing going on nowadays. Just got to support us, man, and we're always going to give you the truth. We're gonna come to you straight up. So once again, Tony, thank you very much, and we are just about out of time. And hopefully, I can have you here live with me one night.
I would love that, man. Maybe we could do some. Maybe we could take the show on the road.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Go to a independent show and film it and we'll get permission from the promoters or whatever and show the fans of this podcast, hey, this is indie wrestling, and we'll interview some of the other wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that, man. Absolutely. That sounds like a fantastic idea, actually. So we can do that, and me and you will get together and go from there with it. Okay, bud?
It sounds good, man. Thank you for the opportunity. Be well.
All right.
Have a great night, man.
You as well, man. You have a great night, man. I'll talk to you soon, bud.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right, there you have it. That was Anthony Price with us for quite a while, actually. I just want to thank him once again for especially where I'm at today. Wouldn't be without him. So thank you very much to him, Ron Post, and Anthony O'Neill as well, who I know is watching some of the videos. But once again, support your local wrestling shows. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, because I definitely did. And I will see you guys real soon. I'll let everybody know when the next podcast is, and we'll keep up to date, okay? Thank you guys. You guys have a wonderful night, and stay true to indie wrestlers, man. We're going to love you just as much back. Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Ron Payne, podcast show.